Alright, hello. In an attempt to keep this video super short, I'm going to whiz through this real quick. Right. This chart, I've been meaning to do this video for a while now. I just got done watching a, what did he call it? TikTok clock. Jurassic Liars 26 did a video. He was talking about the clock face as well, and referencing some numbers out of it. And I put a comment on there, where you can. He was just doing the 24-hour clock. I said you can carry that on and pick some more numbers out of what you're looking at. And I'd mentioned this in, I think, at least two videos that I've just recently done about this chart. And I've also commented to some people about it as well, about balancing numbers through it. This is what I'm on about, right? So you've got the clock face there. Can you see the 0? That's where the 24-hour clock starts, right? And you just go around in a spiral, and you just keep adding numbers, and you just build up your numbers. And I just alternated the colours there, so it's easier to pick out which loop you're on. And it's cool that it's a spiral as well, that sort of fits in with everything, doesn't it? Okay, my months that I've put on there. So the black is where I would put the month. The blue is where we number how we number our months. Okay. But according to the, if you balance the clock face with the calendar, that's, I think, where the month should go. So December would fall at 6 on the clock face, because what's happening at 6 o'clock in the morning? The sun's just coming up, yeah. Okay, it's, just think about that. Just think about how the sun's coming up. That's when the sun's being reborn. That's the winter solstice, yeah, and that's when it's just starting to come back off the horizon again, from its low spot. Then you've got your two equinoxes, which fall in March and September. Okay, and then at the top you've got what would be, the high point of the day, the 12 o'clock. When the sun's at its strongest. So those numbers all the way up there would be kind of more perfect numbers. And interestingly, of course, because the clock face only goes up to 12, every circuit you do will be the 12 times table. So those numbers are slightly less random than the rest. They've got there's another meaning to them, I guess. I don't know, or I don't know how you look at that. But maybe more balanced. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's the only one that goes up in an even way, in an even format. So you've got the number of man down the bottom, number 6, and that 18 shows up on my chart, and you've got the 66 down there as well, and it goes on, and there's 126 is on there, which is a number that pops up a lot in a lot of different things, Anyway, and I've referenced quite a few of those numbers, Kobe and all the rest of it. So, what else do I want to say about it? Yeah, that Kobe number could be referencing the start of a cycle, again, or man, or whatever, I mean, it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Well, the references that you can make from this stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about what I've done here. There's 3 sets of crosses in the middle. See, I coloured them black, red, and blue as well. And so you've got basically the reason why I did that like that is because, of course, nature is a cross, and you've got 3 sets of them in a circle. And I think this is to do with how they originally, I mean, why do we come up with 360 degrees for a circle? Why? And I mean, interesting numbers, but you got to get to the reason why this is 360 degrees. You know, it's part of the reason is because 365 days in a year. You know, or 366, whatever you want to. You know, and there's also, if you look at the moon, I can't remember what it is. I think it's 354. So right in between there is 360. So it's 360 is a balance between the sun and the moon again. 360. You know, people would have known donkeys years ago, if you took a rope across a circle, it was a little bit over 3 times that rope would go around the circle, you know. So they would have known there was an inherent connection with the number 3 and with nature, the number 4, because to balance 2 points, you have to have a midpoint, and that midpoint is referenced by another line, which also has to be balanced. And you know, these are your points in nature. You know, the winter and the solstices and the equinoxes. So you've got to have a number, like with the clock face and everything, that fits into 360, references the number 4, and references the number 3. You know? And so, you know, this is why we come up with, and of course, within that, you have to have night and day referenced and all the rest of it. So this is why these numbers. This is why we have 360 degrees in a circle. But it's all interesting, isn't it? And then from that, you can fathom out a load of other. You know, you can even go just straight across to find a balanced number. So you know, you'll see 93 come up a lot. Well, it's right opposite each other, isn't it? 9 and the 3. Remember the 5th of November. 5 and an 11. So it's interesting. You can start seeing why, you know, some of these numbers balance. That Cross of Lorraine thing I did with the number of man being 6. You know, that 18 drops in there. It's just interesting how some of these numbers. You've even got 66 in there. I don't know. It'd be interesting to carry the table. So the table is all of those numbers you can put in a table. And there's no way I'm going to go up to 666. Not tonight, anyway. But you can see what I've got is I've got the loop number at the top. That's the clock face. Oh, Dan, come on. That's the clock face number at the top there. And then I've got the loop number down the side. So you can pick numbers out of that table as well. Come back out a little bit. I don't know how well that'll come out on the video, to tell you the truth. I've got to be pretty close. But you know, you can look across and terrible videos, isn't it, when you have to hold stuff up like this? But you can come across and see some of these numbers. You can just pause it and have a look. Hopefully I haven't missed any out. I suppose the easiest way to check that would be to do your 12 times table up the other side and make sure there wasn't any terrible misses yet. I've even messed up a couple of times there. I can't even add one number on and write it down easily. Anyway, that number that I've been looking at in my videos, the 1118, which I think is a significant number. It's in that middle of the key of Lorraine. There's no way I'm going to go up to, well, I might at some point. I might just do me like an Excel spreadsheet or something. And there's the 118 below my finger, yeah? If I go across, we are on, hang on a minute, 118, oh gosh, Dan, start that again. Hang on a minute, 118, follow it across, we're on the 10th, go around, and funnily enough, if we look underneath where my finger is, it's the 10th. It's the 10th, it's the 10 o'clock on the face. So that is 1010. That double X that I've seen a lot of. I don't know if that's referencing that or not, but the double cross, the double X, and the double cross of Lorraine again. I mean, you can't. I mean, Well, I mean, what are the chances that that falls on 1010? It's even one of the dates that I was looking at, you know, for the old Hoover Dam thing. There is one other thing you can do with this. I don't know if I just mentioned this or not, but those crosses, there are 3 of them, and you know what you can do? You can take one colour from each cross, and then lay that the Y. I can't even do a Y, but you can lay that Y of the flux capacitor, if you know what I'm talking about, that shape, the letter Y, and you can maybe come out with a balanced set of numbers. So, you know, like 911 was, I would call 911 711, right? If you look where the 7 is on there, right, and then you look where the 11 is, and then you look where the 3 is, you get that flux capacitor shape, right? And so you've got 711, and then it balances with September and a 3. I don't know, but it's just a funny coincidence again. You know, you've got September the 711 balanced with September, and how many towers went down? 3 towers dropped. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, to say the least, that some of the stuff on here. But yeah, that number of man, you know, look at the numbers that come out on there, and that's not even carrying it on up. But got the 126 there, the Kobe special. I'm just looking on the 6th column to see if there's anything that's really significant. 222. Don't know if anybody sees that. 258. I mean, there's some numbers that are significant for me there. I don't know about anybody else, but you know, you could look in any column probably and find something that's kind of significant. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The guy, I don't know what his name is, but the guy at Jurassic Liars 26 actually put the minutes in there as well, which I thought was pretty cool, in his clock face. But he didn't. I don't know if he's. I had a comment backwards and forwards with him, and it doesn't appear to me that he had tried doing the extra numbers on there yet. But I thought that was cool. I'll have to put the minutes on there and see. It would definitely be interesting to just put the minutes on each one of those. I don't know about putting all the minutes on, but it definitely would be interesting to put, like, you know, 0, 60 here, and 5, 10, 15, and just see if there's anything else, any other interesting coincidences with the numbers there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, really. That's it. I know I'm missing some in here. I've done that, and I've done that, and I've, you know. Oh, what I was going to say is that I watched a video on. I'll tell you what got me started on this is I was watching a video on, because everything's a cycle, everything's a circle in nature. So, and everything is supposed to be balanced. I happened to watch a video on balancing a centrifuge, and it was interesting because you can balance it in a number of different ways. I can't really explain it here, but of course, like the flux capacitor sign, or just straight across, or you could put one thing here, or you could put maybe three things here, and you could maybe have a thing here and a thing down here. There's a certain way of doing that. There's a certain formula for figuring that out. What channel was I watching? It was like, I can't remember. It was some math file. Maybe that was what it was called. But yeah, it was interesting, because I'm starting, now I'm thinking, well, you could, if you wanted to, do an event or do something that would be significant? Or do these people know that run the world that if they do something on a certain date that is a balanced date, they've got a better outcome for whatever they're doing, you know, whatever ritual it would be, or whatever business transaction? If they pick a certain date, there's more likelihood of that thing working out in their favour. Just interesting things to think about, isn't it? I've got to start planning my every time I do something now. I'm going to sell some sheep. I better have a look on here and see what date pops up. That's a good day to sell some sheep or whatever. I don't know, guys. Oh dear. Anyway, that's got to be the end of it. Too long already, 16 minutes. Alright, cheers, bye.